chegamos ao momento decisivo. Depois de uma jornada repleta de desafios, mistérios e batalhas épicas, estamos finalmente diante do grande confronto final. Brynn está mais forte do que nunca, equipada com todo o conhecimento, habilidades mágicas e coragem para enfrentar a ameaça que colocou este mundo à beira da destruição. Mas será que estamos realmente prontos para o último desafio? Cada decisão agora será crucial. A batalha será intensa, os inimigos mais poderosos do que nunca e o destino deste reino está em nossas mãos. Se você acompanhou essa jornada até aqui, já deixa o like, se inscreve no canal e comenta rumo à vitória. Vamos juntos encerrar essa saga com chave de ouro. Chegou a hora da batalha final. Vamos nessa.
And then the priest says, that's not how you extinguish the holy flame.
I thought you never extinguished the holy flame.
They make certain exceptions when it threatens centuries-old tapestries.
You never talked about your time in the church.
They're not happy memories.
No, but they're yours.
Then let's not fight again so I have more time to share them.
That's unreasonable. Let's just make sure we're talking.
Of course, my love. After all, I love you like... I love you.
I love you too.
This is going to be a challenging expedition. Are you ready?
Have Arik escort Khan Arteme here. I'm ready to move out.
Good. Take some time to rest. And I'm sure everyone will want a chance to speak with you before you head.
You all worry too much. I'll be fine.
I know that. Just make sure the others do, too.
All right.
I've run every test I could think of.
I can name 7 or 8 subtle variations of snow off the top of my head if you need more weathers to test. Freezing rain, flurries, squalls, sleet. Sleet's fun. Well, to say. Sucks otherwise.
You really are from the mountains sometimes, you know. When I told you about the Grand Gate and Stanil's plan, I wasn't sure I was doing the right thing. You and the band have helped a lot with that. A lot. I even feel like I understand how the tapestry works. We can fix this place. But I'm going to need your help. Understand?
I look forward to it. You're looking radiant as always.
Is that your way of buttering me up before you dive into a deadly rift?
Can't I just compliment the most beautiful girl in the Maida?
You can, so long as we both know I hate everything about this expedition, and nothing will change my mind about that.
Duly noted.
Good. Then, so long as you don't take this as my endorsement, I know you can do this. No matter what that crummy herald says when you get down there. You're going to kick its proverbial butt out of the source and save the Enclave as we know it.
Kaz, it helps to hear that.
There's more I want to say, but I'll come find you later.
Looking forward to it.
After the surge, we no longer had any reason to celebrate. Our seasons were broken, so any festivals we once had to celebrate their transition suddenly lost their meaning. So I've lived my whole life like this, only hearing stories of joy and calm and peace and optimism. Now, if we succeed today, there may well be a reason to celebrate once more. And my heart burns with the desire to give that gift to the children of the Enclave, who would otherwise go without.
We'll get it done, Karnata May.
Hiroon, I very much hope so. Don't die down there.
Hasn't happened to me yet, so that must mean the odds are in my favor. Sola, how are you feeling about the upcoming expedition?
These days I can handle just about anything. And that's in large part thanks to you.
Me?
You supported me through all this Tarmakine stuff without faltering. Even when it felt like my world could crumble in the face of it. And then, you didn't just bring Dharm and I back together. You and Kasmin showed us we never really lost one another. I just feel so much more resilient thanks to you.
Come on, that was all you.
Don't worry, I'm not selling myself short, but you gave me space to grow as a person. Not a lot of friends are brave enough to do that.
Anytime, Sola.
I'm ready to do whatever it takes to help you succeed at the source, Brynn.
Glad to hear it.
Hey.
How's it going, Arik?
Sorry, I get kind of keyed up before anything big. Breathing helps. And this is a big one, isn't it?
Maybe the biggest. At least in recent memory.
Legendary understatement. Anyway, we're as ready as we can be on my end. The scouts still in fighting shape after Stanold's folly are deployed. They'll be reporting on Surgeborn behavior and ready to intercept if anyone moves against Dharm and the Axle. We're even field testing some reweaves to the enchantments on our scries. Some progress there.
Sounds like the guide is settling into his role pretty smoothly.
Yeah, well, I mean, someone's got to. Thanks. We're going to do this, Brynn. You're going to do this.
That's the plan. Thanks for all your support.
You're what we needed. Someone to step up and damn the consequences.
Brynn! Not just quick of blade, but big of heart. It's always a pleasure to see you.
It's always a joy to see you two, Dom.
Not everyone can catalyze a discussion between a couple that clearly needed to happen. You'll always have my thanks for that.
How are you feeling about the expedition?
We are as ready as we can be, and with our intrepid point as the vanguard, what could go wrong?
Rather a lot, honestly.
Yes, but it shan't. You will overcome, and you need to keep that in your heart. Hope is like magic. Its real strength comes from inside. Will, fortitude, and belief can overcome the impossible. If you believe that you have what it takes to win the day, you shall. I know this, and you do too.
I find myself once more mining the past for clues. An impulse not born of regret this time, but we've achieved much together, it's true. But beyond this, what more can we do? We've done everything we can, right? So perhaps we just need to have... As alien as it is to me, yes, at some point, we need to lean on belief, founded in trust, founded in fact. Doing it again? I don't think I've seen you like this before. It's not my most particularly favorite way to be. Why don't we run through some of the preparations you've made to take your mind off it? Right, yes. I've prepared all the potions and filters you might need. Mixed them up in bulk, thanks to the equipment I've gathered. From the raw ingredients to the essential alcohests to the final product, I am sure that what I've made is of the highest possible quality. You're right. It did help. I'm sure you have thoughts on the upcoming expedition?
It's funny. You'd think I'd be remembering my mother, the expert weaver. But my father is on my mind right now. What it must have been like, cultivating his fields year after year.
Taking a moment to enjoy what you've cultivated.
I'm at peace. My new role is to help you build upon what I've learned.
That's quite the legacy.
One last piece of advice before you go?
Always.
When the time comes for you to find your own apprentice, choose one that can help you with this transition like you've helped me.
If I survive this, you mean?
We both know you will.
Hey, you. What are you doing?
Got to make sure you're prepared for this expedition.
Kaz.
Sorry, this is hard for me.
I know.
You mean so much to me, and I just can't stand the thought of...
Nothing will happen to me.
I should be the one comforting you right now, not the other way around.
I love you.
Should be stronger than this. What?
I love you.
That is a ridiculous thing to say right now.
I don't care.
You're crazy.
So, are you going to say it back, or should I just head to bed? I've got an early morning, you know.
Shut up. I love you too.
Sev is set to vent the tangles from the source when you're ready, Brynn. Sev is set to vent the tangles from the source when you're ready, Brynn.
I hope this works.
We have every reason to believe this will make the source tolerable for you. I'll tell Sev to get started. Dom and Khan Arteme will escort you to the rift with the Ark.
Looks like Sev was right. The rift has been vented. It's as safe as it's going to be.
You sure that rope can hold us both?
It'll do the job. Just try to land gracefully.
I always do. Got it.
My magic will only carry the Ark for as far as I can see you.
Good luck, Brynn of Carnarvon.
Ignore it.
I plan to.
You'll find I demand attention. You know, it hurts my feelings that you haven't come back to visit me even once. I get lonely down there in my cell.
Boo-hoo.
Breathe through it, Brynn. I know its voice is making your skin crawl. I feel it too.
It helps when you guys are talking, instead of it.
Then we'll keep talking. We're here for you.
No matter what that voice says, you stopped the Herald before. Do it again.
Brynn, I know I said I was scared to lose you, but today, I woke up calm. This is what you were born to do. Go get him.
You're getting close. One last chance. Join me, and I'll grant you strength beyond your wildest dreams.
I've already told you, I don't need it.
If you're strong enough without me, why are there 7 crunches chattering in your ear?
They're not crutches. They're friends.
We could be friends.
What's so funny?
Couldn't destroy me with an arc of my size. And so you brought a toy instead. breach is too wide for your arc.
Breach? What breach?
The breach between our world and yours, of course.
You're from another world?
You call us Surgeborn, but we are ancient. As old as the tear between worlds that bleeds what you call magic. A wound your kind tore wider in their own quest for power. Until they could no longer contain it. And the inevitable happened.
The Surge.
The Surge. An event so cataclysmic in both worlds it shook them to their core. And it left a path. One I had to follow. Your kind have mastered the coral, indestructible and suffused with incredible power. Power you barely understand and haven't earned. Power that should and will be mine. You can't hope to compete with me. I carry with me 1,000 souls and 1,000 bodies. You are an insect. Consider it an inherent failure of your species.
Could you shut up?
Does the truth strike a nerve?
No, you're annoying. And I'm trying to think.
Brynn! Arik managed to get the scry back, for now.
We've lost visuals.
The Herald is down, but regenerating. And the Arc of Verdance. It's working, but the raw magic is too much. The Arc can't pacify the tangles.
You need to get out of there. Now!
No! I have to do something.
Brynn, we will find another way.
Don't bother! You will die! Just like the Eye's daughter!
Whatever it takes. Her name was Isla.
Brynn. Can you hear me? Brynn. Talk to me.
Oh no.
Come on.
Now that Casman's trading with the Halfsiders, Khan Arteme has reached out to ask if I would forge arms for the Scouts. They've been wearing leftover Ark armor all this time. Though I'll have support from the Enclave's smithing guild, it'll be a long project.
Sev won't be teaming up with you on this one.
The Axle has Sev working on the tapestry right now. Besides, I'm just happy to see he's found his calling.
I didn't think it was possible, but he stands a little taller these days.
Me working with the guild, Sev controlling the weather, you kicking major ass at the heart of the Enclave? Who would have thought we'd wind up here when we first passed through the Veil?
Not me. Part of me thought the Ark of the Stricken Earth was going to do me in.
You had to know you had a chance at winning. We've all come a long way.
Do you ever miss the days when the stakes of the band's adventures were a little lower?
Strangely, not at all. It, though, give us a few more scares like you did when the scry cut out, and I might change my mind.
Don't worry. I can go without defying death again for at least a little while.
There she is.
I live!
I'll admit, you had us all worried for a beat there. But it's good to see you back on your feet.
How have you and the other scouts been doing recently?
Exceptionally well. The Surgeborn are still out there, but they're disoriented, scattered, something like that.
That will be easier to deal with for everyone involved.
Yeah, still dangerous, but it's like they're roaming aimlessly and only acting on instinct.
How are the people at Cassidon's Hold faring?
Everyone can feel it. Things are different. It's like a pressure we'd all got so used to is lifted.
Perhaps literally.
The raw magic, you mean? Hadn't thought of that, but you're probably right.
Tell me about you, Eric. This has been a lot.
Well, on the one hand, still getting used to the title, but it is coming in handy for throwing my political weight around. Hirun and I don't always see eye to eye, but she's sharp and we work it out. We're hoping to lift the restrictions on the Scouts mingling with the larger Hold populace for one. Lots of happy families.
And on the other hand?
I feel like I've won some kind of prize being allowed to spend time with your band. You're all such veterans as weavers. It's an honor to feel like I've been accepted.
That all sounds positive. Any thought?
Well, there's one very important thing. You are not allowed to die or make me think you died anymore.
Oh, spirits. Yes, of course. I can work very hard on the staying alive front. Just for
All of us? Really? You didn't see the band's faces when the scry cut out. These people adore you. Anyway, beyond that, it's hard to say. I suppose we start to reclaim things. The Veil's not down, just stable. We work with that and see what other wild curves this place throws at us. And with you and your band here, I'm pretty sure we can handle anything.
Oh, drat. Wait, no, thoughtless dumb. I am delighted to see you up and about, Brynn.
Are you sure?
I am delighted to see you. And, as it turns out, Lane has just emptied my purse.
Never bet against the alchemist about recovery times.
Indeed. A lesson I have zero regrets about learning, for it means you are up sooner than I would have thought possible.
We clearly did something at the source, but was it enough?
To stabilize things? Oh, yes. What's become abundantly clear is that the source had been damaged, though we're not sure how. Perhaps a small surge that cascaded into the real surge? That's all in the past, though. The current flow of magic seems to be balanced such that the veil is consuming most of it.
That sounds good, right?
Oh, most definitely. It leaves us at an equilibrium. That is so much better than the alternatives.
What's going on with the veil?
It's not coming down anytime soon, but it no longer seems to be overcharged. In retrospect, it's possible the veil was the only thing that stopped the source from outright exploding.
How so?
Its activation pulled, and continues to pull, mind you, an enormous amount of magic away from the source. That draw was enough to slow the rush of magic. It's possible the reason the veil went up so suddenly was as an emergency measure.
How's our little arc friend holding up?
So far, very well. It continues to pacify the raw magic coming from the source, and is self-sustaining as far as we can tell, thanks to your little push. Please don't do that again, by the way. Very dangerous, and we're all terribly fond of you.
How about the tapestry? No chance we've managed to remove all the tangles?
Alas, no, not visibly. But I did hear the Axel talking about an effort to restore the tapestry. She dropped your name a few times. They'll make a statue of you someday. Well, unless her political machinations all fall apart. Fewer statues in that case, but that's for the politicians, yes?
So, what's next for us, do you think?
I have every plan to continue studying the source while I can. The Axel has given me special dispensation. She feels my presence somewhat tempers the ambitions of the High Enchanter. He seems rather keen on becoming the next Spindle, less so on securing a sustainable future for the Enclave. At the same time, I'm told the alchemists are making a hard push for their representative to take the position. Their political jockeying buys me time to poke and prod the Enclave secrets. I have no complaints. Sola's been teasing me about it incessantly, of course, reminding me to take a breath of all things. Which reminds me, I do have some things to attend to, so I won't bend your ear unnecessarily. Here if you need me for anything, Brynn of Carnhaven. Brynn, I was just thinking about how we managed to trap the heat of molten rock itself.
And you and your wife seem through a complicated patch?
I never doubted we would find a way through. This time was different than the other spats we've had. I am very grateful for your help. I would not know what to do without Sola. She is very much my guiding star.
You're welcome, you big romantic. Just keep talking to her, and the nights will be cloudless.
Indeed. Indeed.
It is good to see you up and about again.
Thanks, Ev. Nothing keeps me down for long.
True, but don't go expecting anyone to pin a medal on you. Sola still doesn't think we should waste the materials.
Aw, you remembered. So, what's next for you, big guy?
The only thing left for me and Tarza are assassins. So, it looks like I'm staying. Not that the Veil gives us much choice, but you take my meaning.
The Axel will love to have someone with your expertise around.
Yes. I am a better collaborator than Stanils, she tells me. And she's willing to provide whatever I need. Just so long as it stabilizes things. And I mean that politically as well as magically.
She's like my mother. Always thinking about her role more than herself. Still, powerful patron to have on your side.
And unlike my last patron, at least she seems honest about our relationship. We will both benefit from my work.
Now that you're walking and the color has returned to your cheeks, there's a few things I need to say. First, I love you.
I love you too.
Second, if you ever scare me like that again, I'll end you faster than any herald ever could.
So romantic.
Third, I love you.
Love is list format, but you already said that.
I really like saying it.
Good. We've got a lifetime of saying it ahead of us.
With everything at the source behind us, I can see it.
Yeah? Give me another list then. What does our lifetime together look like?
For starters, it might look like me reading Scald's tales next to you while you snore after long expeditions.
I don't snore.
Second, if we ever get out of the Veil, I'll take you sailing.
Nothing but open ocean around us sounds pretty good right now.
And lastly, maybe kids, if we decide we want them.
Whatever our family looks like, it will be perfect for us.
For now, I'm content to keep having adventures with you. Just wait a while before diving into your next death rift, please.
For you, anything.
The Axel and I have opened up trade between our band and the Hearthsiders to support Sev's work with the Aeroliths. She seems lighter since you got back from the source.
I'll have to check in with her and see for myself.
The relief efforts showed me it's difficult to pinpoint when a community is coming out of crisis. But there is one common marker. People start putting things on their calendar again. Could be as small as an appointment with your local apothecary, or as big as sending invitations to your wedding. You can't plan for the future when tomorrow's not a guarantee.
You think the Hearthsiders are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Not even close. But they're starting to live again regardless.
I don't know many weavers who could do what you just did and survive. Scratch that. I don't know any.
I feel a bit lightheaded from all the tonics, but otherwise, I'm back up on both feet.
We thought you had...
Darm and the Axel practically tossed me through the loom gate after I made my way back up the rope. They looked pretty shocked. I suppose, even with the tangles disappearing, the odds of me making it out of the chasm were slim.
Let alone surviving what the spindle didn't. You know, channeling your magic into that arc was risky.
She did it for the Enclave. So did I. And you would have done the same.
I can't argue with that. On to the next adventure, then.
On to the next.
You were tremendous at the source. I'll admit, I was rather worried about you, but... well, you made it through. And, dare I say, defined a generation of weavers in the process. You've made history and lived to tell the tale. Tremendous work.
all in a day's work.
So few words for such a momentous achievement.
I need to keep that ego under control, after all.
I don't think anyone could blame you for having an inflated ego after taking down the greatest foe imaginable all by yourself.
And yet, I must restrain myself. What a cruel world. So, what's next on our to-do list?
Getting back into the thick of it already. Let me check my notes. Ah, I have a line of research I'd like to pursue. Come find me when you're ready.
Sounds interesting. I'm all over it.
I look forward to discussing it with you. It's been a remarkably difficult chapter for all of us. While there's still more to do, I think we can take a moment to congratulate ourselves on making it this far. Only then can we look forward. And after all, who knows what the future holds?
And after we congratulate ourselves, what then?
We get back to it, just like we always do.
Well said.
It's nice to have the camp stove working properly again. Even if it took Casmin quietly tossing our coal supply into the hollow one night to make it happen.
Wait, she did?
Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that. But Darm and Solar have reconciled, which I suspect was her whole plan, so hopefully it's okay. Still, Kaz doesn't like for people to know she's a romantic at heart.
Oh, well, I am very glad you mentioned this. Thank you, Lane.
Just go easy on the teasing. I don't want her to serve my stew cold all week. A pleasant morning to you. What's on your mind?
I've got something that I'm struggling to believe.
Then it must be something rather special.
It's about something the Herald said when I fought it in the source. It said that it was from elsewhere. A place we wouldn't be able to understand. And the Herald claimed to be older than the Surge. Much older.
That is a fascinating assertion. And we've received reports of it reappearing after you defeated it.
Right. I heard that too. I would have mentioned this earlier, but with all the action and me almost dying...
Say no more. I do, however, think that Oria and Darm need to hear about this too. Oria? Darm? Would you mind coming over here?
You're looking uncharacteristically serious, Lane.
I'm looking normal, I think. But you are correct.
Brynn?
The Herald claimed to have existed for a long time before the Surge. And it said that at the heart of the source, there's a breach between worlds. That's where the Surgeborn came from.
I don't know how we'll tell everyone about this. Will they panic? Will they even believe us? Should we tell them at all?
Hold on, Lane. You're jumping to conclusions. It's possible that the Surgeborn was lying.
It's true. Even though it never technically lied to Brynn, it certainly enjoyed its little mind games.
I really don't think that's the case. It wanted Brynn to join it, and this would explain so much about the origin of the Surgeborn.
I believe the solution to our worries is, as always, more research. Brynn, since we've received reports of the Herald reappearing, would you mind hunting it down for us again? Specifically, to know for sure whether it is as otherworldly as it claimed to be, I will need you to harvest its pattern, as fresh as possible for me.
Absolutely. I've already killed this thing twice. A third time will be a piece of cake.
Splendid! Understanding the unknown kills any fear it may hold over us. Is this course of action acceptable to you two?
Yes. Sounds good to me. What do you think, Lane? Would that make you feel better?
I suppose that's a sensible way forward. Sorry, big revelation. I need to take some time to process this. Dom, will we analyze the resonance together? I need to prepare my workstation.
One step at a time, my friend.
of course. The resonance, yes. Good luck, Brynn.
Don't need luck when I've got a team like you behind me.
Goodness, you're irrepressible. You've just been to the brink of death and back, but you're already back up and at it. You're allowed to take a break, you know.
I get bored easily. Much rather be out here getting things done.
Well, I'll say this. Your efforts haven't gone unnoticed. With the Arc of Verdance doing its work at the source, the raw magic is beginning to dissipate. In time, we'll be able to secure a workspace. Then, we can start repairing the tapestry. Everyone in the hold has begun to look to the future. Many never had a reason to. Children and adults alike, sensing the intoxicating allure of newborn hope.
I know what it's like to watch your people rebuild after dark times. It's hard, but beautiful too.
I've been asked by a citizen committee to establish our first new holiday in decades. Spindle's Day, they want to call it.
Ah. How do you feel about it?
I wish things were different. And I know she would have hated all the attention, but I think it's right.
She'd be really proud of you for stepping up.
I would hope so too. It is the least I can do to honor her memory, day by day. When we met, before your expedition to the source, I was ready to tell you that it was completely reckless. But when you ran through how everyone contributes to your success, that was the moment I knew we might have a chance. I wasn't quite as confident as you, but I at least felt something close to it.
And how about now?
I believe you can do anything you put your mind to. Anything else would be ignoring the incredible achievements of some truly unexpected guests.
I'll let them know you said that.
Please do. As always, I have a great deal on my plate to get back to. Promise me you'll take a break. If only to spend time with the people you care about.
I will.
You just couldn't take a break, could you? But no. Instead, you had to unearth a revelation so dangerous it could destabilize the entire Maida Basin.
Not my fault. Incredible discoveries just fall into my lap.
Right. I admire the work your band did on researching the Herald. Lane, in particular. Hold on tight to them. They're an extremely valuable resource.
Their contributions are tremendous. The alchemy alone. With that, plus the number of times their research has saved our hides, I don't think they could leave the Weaver Band even if they tried. We wouldn't let them.
You would be fools to do so. I wanted to mention, by the way, if you could pass this along, Lane's welcome to visit the Hold anytime. Open invite. I'll always appreciate hearing their thoughts.
I'll pass it along.
Now, I'd better get back to it. Paperwork... As it turns out, I'm rather glad you tore down Asylum. I was not, at the time, but Arakim's come a long way since he started working with your band.
Arak feels you appointed him as a political move.
Oh, I absolutely did. I'm pleased he recognizes it. A bright future awaits him. I need someone who will push, and he will most certainly do that. His findings, though, are deeply concerning, along with the obvious failures of the tapestry exposed by Sev's research. But I see it as an opportunity. The tapestry needs to be repaired, and we have the means. Nothing catalyzes and unifies people like a problem they can actually solve.
Making you seem like a very effective leader.
Yes. Yes, it does. Quite the impressive investigation you and your Ram friend instigated. With those results, we could repair the tapestry and eventually reclaim the underworks. With the Surgeborn in obvious disarray, now is the time to move.
Happy to help.
I'll reach out to Sev myself and let him know how much I appreciate it, and his expertise. I'm encouraged by the research Sev's done on the tapestry. He has a quick mind.
The opportunity to prove himself outside of the Norians means a lot to him.
We're going to find out what he can do, with a team backing him up. It's key we repair the tapestry as quickly as possible. I shudder to think what might happen if the Ark of Verdance should fail.
It seems I owe you and Sebastian a word of thanks.
Unexpected, but you're welcome. What's happening?
Hirun has seen fit to approve my involvement in the tapestry repair. As much as it is irksome to be assigned work, I will confess I was getting rather bored, and something to do will help, I'm sure.
Good news. I harvested the Herald's pattern.
Splendid. If you'll let me handle the resonance. Dom, come and look at this. Brynn's brought back the Surgeborn resonance, and...
Fascinating. It really is like nothing I've laid hands on.
The Herald was telling the truth, then. About this, at least.
Walk me through it, team.
Dom, do you want to?
Yes. This is the second resonance I've had access to, and I didn't realize before, but it's clearly not of this world. It resembles nothing mentioned in any literature I've ever seen. The Hearthsiders' libraries have nothing about this, not even the Spindle's tomes. Exploring the possibility of other worlds could consume decades of a researcher's life, and they'd barely scratch the surface. It was a theoretical, primary theological pursuit before, but this strand changes everything.
So you're suggesting this is an entirely novel field of research?
That is precisely the fact of the matter, my curly-haired friend.
So, for those of us who aren't academics, what's the takeaway here?
Our understandings of the mechanisms of the universe will fundamentally shift as a result of this.
Great. Love that. Does that mean there could be more places like the Source?
Well, anything is possible. Though, the lack of Surgeborn outside of the Enclave suggests that wounds between worlds are extremely rare.
I see. And what about the resonance I brought back? Is that dangerous at all?
The resonance is self-healing, but beyond that, it seems that some other element dictates the Herald's regeneration. I would not be surprised if you saw it again, but without its connection to home, it will not be able to evolve or adapt.
So the resonance heals itself, but it won't turn into a Surgeborn on its own. Good.
There's something else to worry about. One large thing. What amount of this information are we comfortable sharing? And with whom?
I wish I could draw from weaving history to provide guidance, but something this big has never happened before.
The Axel has always appreciated our transparency. We should tell her first.
I would assume she's busy with her duties as interim leader, but on the other hand... I've no clue. Truly, my font of wisdom runs empty.
I think this one's big enough that we can bother her about it without feeling guilty.
You're right, of course. I'll meet you in Cassidy's hold. I just need to document this while it's fresh in my mind.
And I will continue experimenting. What a wonderful opportunity.
See you in the hold, Lane.
Good morning, Karnatame. Might we trouble you with some questions of a fairly important nature?
You're already here, so you may as well.
This is a pretty big one, for the record.
We have learned something astounding about the Surgeborn and the fundamental nature of the Source.
Something new?
Yes. When Brynn was engaged in combat down in the Source, the Herald spoke to her of its origins. It told her it hailed from another world, and at the Source is a celestial wound through which the Surgeborn found their way here.
We thought it might have been lying, trying to throw me off. But recently, we realized it's regenerated. So I killed it again. Took a resonance from its pattern to Lane and Dom, and...
It was all true.
all of it.
Dom is very excited about the existence of other worlds and will continue researching. but it sits ill with me.
How so?
You and I spoke at length on how the truth, the whole truth, must be made available to all. But this isn't just some political secret. It changes our approach to everything. Religion, weaving, the way we place ourselves in the world.
I understand. I assume you've thought a great deal about this. Give me a risk assessment.
That's just the thing. Understanding more about the world. It's beautiful. Wonderful. I have enough perspective, however, to know that the same may not be true for others, especially those who have lived here through the Surge. Would it bring peace to their hearts? Would this knowledge, shared free to all, improve their lives? I fear not. But perhaps I am the fool for thinking that I am wise enough to know what is best for others.
I see. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. First things first, we need to find out what Kenrick knew about this. Let's fetch him, shall we?
What do you want?
I was hoping to draw on some of your memories, if you wouldn't mind. It's in regards to a security matter.
If it's a security matter, then those two shouldn't be privy to it.
That's no longer your call. In the years where you held the Surgeborn Talon in custody, did it ever speak to you of its origins?
I will not incriminate myself.
I'm simply asking a question from someone who's in charge to someone who was in charge.
And you may simply ram that question up where the sun doesn't shine.
You're useless. You may leave.
I'm useless. I'm not the one chasing religious fairy tales about worlds beyond our own. Ridiculous.
So you knew, and kept it to yourself. That's more than enough from you.
I'll leave you to your hunt for a desert Akala, then.
Exhausting. I'm sorry about him, as always. Now, given the services you have rendered us, I believe you deserve a little trust. So I'll listen to what you think I should tell our people of the Herald and the worlds beyond ours and whatever else.
It's humbling to have earned such trust, and we won't squander it. Before I speak, do you have any thoughts on this, Brynn?
I don't really believe in higher intelligences, but a lot of people do. From the Church of the Hallowed Pyre to the Tarzan gods, religion brings structure to people's lives. I'm afraid that if we told everyone the whole truth, it would destroy that structure. And when frameworks fail, the opportunists swoop in.
Very true. We experienced that ourselves. Now, Lane?
Brynn covered some of what I've been musing over, but for the sake of completeness, I'll recap it all with my own thoughts. 3 major facets of this problem loom in my mind. First, that of the research possibilities. Keeping this revelation under lock and key would obviously gatekeep untold numbers of discoveries. Second, that of those who adhere to the various religions around the Maida. I fear that disclosing the existence of other worlds to the public at large could upset a great many people at best, and trigger a holy war at worst. They have been waged on far smaller provocations than this. Finally, and most importantly, so many of the problems we've encountered here have been because people kept secrets. Whether they were forced to keep them or not, the existence of those secrets significantly hamstrung our efforts to learn about the Enclave. If I had any choice in the matter, I would change that status quo in a heartbeat.
Now is your chance. If you want to seize the moment, I will respect your choice.
The irony is that I find myself faltering on the precipice, because I've now been presented with truly dangerous knowledge. Before I entered the Enclave, before we undertook this wondrous journey, I would have been adamant that everyone know each intimate detail. now, I believe we must find an acceptable truth to share.
What do you have in mind, then?
Subject to your approval, we start by telling your people the story of the source, the entire truth, barring that of the breach. Then we tell the people that, as it stands right now, the monster they saw at the Grand Gate is eternal. But more importantly, we are working on ways to combat it. We keep its true origins close to our chest. Knowing how to contain the Surgeborn is much more important. For now, we tell part of the truth. We share select details and let the people weave their own interpretations. We control the narrative by allowing conflicting narratives to spread. And one day, the denizens of the Maida may be ready to know the full truth. Is that acceptable to you, Karnatame?
Yes, it is. And might I say, you would have made an amazing politician had you stayed in Judea.
That's kind of you to say. But I have too strong a moral core to do that kind of work.
Very understandable. It's not for everyone. Nevertheless, I will communicate our story to the public. Let's hope the ensuing chaos is limited. I'd like to build trust again.
It's the right thing to do.
Lane, Brynn, thank you for your time and assistance.
It has been our everlasting pleasure, Karnatame. As if a great weight has been lifted from my shoulders. When one begins to live their life beyond dusty old tomes, they must reckon with the complexities that are part and parcel of lived experience. Which is to say, you have truly been an agent of change in my life, Brynn. In wonderful ways, of course.
Well, you're not so bad yourself.
I try my best. But really, I feel good.
How are you feeling about your research as a whole?
Excellent. I'm going to chronicle everything. Even if some of it may not see the light of day for some time, I have faith that it will, someday. And when it does, it will be useful to those who need it.
And what about that? Keeping it under wraps, I mean.
I suppose I have learned a sense of nuance. In Judea, keeping secrets was like breathing. But almost every secret was trivial or petty at best. And, more importantly, kept as a means through which to exert power. That was Kenrick's approach too. Power through secrets. Whereas I would hope that my reasons to keep secrets are driven by a sense of care and kindness. Do you think so?
I do. And more importantly, I know you're the kind of person to seek outside accountability if you need it.
With you and everyone else at my back, my worries are now few and far between. All that remains is to continue my research. And I'll need you to keep bringing back items of interest, of course.
I won't stop looking for things to bring home. Don't you worry.
Then I won't keep you. Get adventuring.
It's a tragic story, really. The dissenters.
Yes. They were scared. Everyone was. and I don't blame them for not trusting the eye. So they did what they felt right, and...
It all went wrong anyway.
Feels a bit familiar, doesn't it?
I think we fared a little better than they did, in the end. We might still be stuck in the Enclave, but we've achieved so much. Especially when it comes to the Hearthsiders. They trust us now. And if we work together, I'm sure we can find a way back out.
Very true. I'm sure the dissenters would have been happy to see the progress we've made. While their methods may have been ineffective, it's important to remember that they were a product of circumstance. After all, it's hard to make wise choices in a climate of panic. Their intentions were good. So, I would like to imagine that our efforts honor their memories, at the very least.
For sure. Who would have thought the Herald was telling the truth about the source?
Not me. The fact that it so readily shared that information, it doesn't sit well with me.
Do you think it was trying to manipulate us?
Every word it ever spoke was in service of that goal. Just focus on what you do best. Answers will come with time.
Will do.
E assim chegamos ao fim dessa incrível jornada em eternal Strands. Desde o primeiro passo de Brynn, enfrentamos desafios épicos, exploramos terras misteriosas e batalhamos contra inimigos gigantescos, sempre superando os limites da magia e da estratégia. Cada momento dessa série foi uma experiência única, e espero que vocês tenham se divertido tanto quanto eu trazendo essa gameplay para o canal. Foi uma aventura cheia de ação, emoção e descobertas, e com certeza esse jogo deixou sua marca no mundo dos RPGs de ação. Quero agradecer a todos que acompanharam essa série do início ao fim. Cada like, comentário e inscrição no canal fez toda a diferença para continuarmos trazendo conteúdos incríveis para vocês. Se gostou da série, não esquece de compartilhar com os amigos e deixar nos comentários o que achou do final. E claro, me conta em qual jogo vocês gostariam de ver por aqui na próxima série. Nos vemos na próxima aventura. Até mais, gamers!